All right, fans, we are getting ready to kick off the Great American Bash. But before we do, we're going to take a look at some action that took place 48 hours ago. It was called a scrapyard match. These two teams have been at bitter odds for weeks and weeks now. The Midnight Express, Southern Reckoning, they dropped a ring into a damn scrapyard. And these two teams, with no holds barred, went head to head. The damage and the ramifications are going to be felt even here tonight because neither of these teams going to come in at 100%. As we take a look at some of the highlights from this one, you can see it right here. Randy Rose dropping Stan Lane right on his head in the middle of that ring, but it would get worse for both teams before it was all said and done. We see the action spilling out to the floor, and this is going to be important right here. Bobby Eaton getting the best of Steve Keirn in that moment, but watch this. Randy Rose with the steel chair and down across the knee. Bobby Eaton is in a lot of trouble. Jim Cornette was frantic, but that didn't change things much except for this. Paulie Dangerously from out of nowhere apparently is the new manager of Southern Reckoning. Paulie Dangerously going to work on Jim Cornette, puts him through a table, and then would proceed to attempt to break the arm of Jim Cornette so that he wouldn't be able to use the tennis racket ever again. And he would have been successful if not for the insurance policy paid for Mama Cornette. Big Bubba Rogers shows up on the scene and damn near breaks Paulie Dangerously in half on the ring steps. This feud comes to an end here tonight at the Great American Bash.
Stanhouse in here, very nice, very evil, very famous. You are watching the channel that is very nice and very evil. The Nation Network. Isn't that good? Yes, it's true. If you are not watching the Nation Network housing, you are... Wait for it. Wait for it. Cursed.
The year was 2004. There was this new internet site calling themselves YouTube, a place where creators could create the programming they wanted, a chance to see if others would want to watch. It all started with an invasion. We went from fantasy to memories. Every superstar, every arena,
as we celebrate our one-year anniversary. It was a year ago that Fierce launched its campaign, giving the ladies of professional wrestling their very own platform all to themselves. It took the nation by storm.
every promotion,
Here comes the double team. Let's see what they've got in mind. Double drop kick.
Victorious here in the opening contest.
every nation.
Some momentum to build on as they look forward to a return match with the High Flyers for those IWGP Tag Team Championships. But he has been referred to most commonly as a mastodon, and perhaps no other word more appropriately fits this man.
From the world stage to territories.
the gate.
Always innovating.
All right, good evening, wrestling fans. I'm Little Joe, and tonight we go and bring you the BCW Brooklyn Championship Wrestling here on the Nation Network. We're going to get a look right now at the man himself in just a... Well, here's a debut.
And from Vienna, Austria, weighing in at 310 pounds, Walter.
We brought you Triple X Wrestling.
A wrestling empire. Triple X Wrestling.
Oh, dear Lord, have you finally lost the last of the marbles you had in that bag?
You'll be the one in charge of putting the fine edge on the product.
So let me get this straight. If I'm the one putting the fine edge on it, then who the hell is writing this shit?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Bro, you here, bro?
Oh, hell no. Not in a million years.
Bro, it's okay, bro. Seriously, bro. Water under the bro bridge, bro.
We brought you the game show entertainment with PWI Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Championship
Right
Challenge.
after the music plays, have an answer. That's not music. That's not... What the hell? That brings us up to number 7, also representing the WWF. However, after the WWF, he would go to the AWA and then go to jail. Big JH.
Ken Patera.
J-Rocks.
Ken Patera.
For the block, correct answer would be Ken Patera. That leads us to the number 1 most hated wrestler. I can't give you any clues, but you have a moment to think about your answer. Now, JH, if you get this right, you jump and catapult ahead of J-Rocks with a 3-2 lead.
Roddy Piper.
J-Rocks.
Ric Flair.
This is a part of the game that I like because one of you has the right answer, but only one of you has a finisher. Now the question is, J-Rocks, do you want to go for the finish?
No.
You're going to stick with Ric Flair. JH doesn't have a choice but to stick with Roddy Piper. He's probably happy about that because the correct answer is Roddy Piper.
We started the podcast Wrestle Chat.
But I'm just
Right.
saying, you're not an independent contractor. They own you, they operate you, they pay you, and you do what they say, and that's the way it is. You don't have that option like you do in Impact, like you do in AEW, to go wrestle in other organizations.
And I think that's why they should do away with that independent contractor title, because you're right. They don't have the freedom to do all this other stuff that they should be able to do if they're an independent contractor.
And we were the control center for the early days of Ultra Pro Wrestling.
This is Ultra Pro Wrestling's House of Honor.
Everyone lies 'cause everyone knows. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad.
We asked you, you answered. We began Game On, where anything related to gaming is on the table. From the latest to the greatest. The Rub gave us a chance to meet some of our favorite creators.
They're like, "You ever play the game?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not."
And you're the third person that said that.
They could other arenas like they did NXT 2.0, or I don't know, just like another like character pack with like a bunch of hairstyles and attires
and personality.
One question he always wrapped up with, which I thought was always my favorite: if God does exist, what do you hope to hear him say when you go to heaven?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Even when I was there, the locker room was amazing. That's what probably one of my favorite things. We actually looked forward to like being on the road, and it wasn't like walking on eggshells. Like everyone was. Doesn't matter if you were on the top of the card or just a person that was coming in for a tryout. Like everyone was cool. No one was. There was no egos. Like, and we had some big ass stars there. You know, like But all those top guys that came in, they wanted to help us. They wanted to help the young ones. You know,
And all your fans out in your nation, we love you, mates. The Bushwhackers love you, and hope to see you around. Whoa! Yay!
22 years, thousands of episodes, and it all comes down to this.
Championship Wrestling, bringing you great wrestling action, sanctioned by the NWA, National Wrestling Alliance.
Welcome, wrestling fans. We are here at the Great American Bash, Miami, Florida. We've got a capacity crowd on hand, and what a night of wrestling it's going to be here to close us out once and for all here on the Nation Network. Couldn't have a better night lined up for you if we tried.
Well, Tony, I'll tell you right now, it's been one heck of a ride, and I am very proud to have taken it with you as well as all the members of the Nation Network.
Indeed, later tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be hearing from the man himself, Vince McSham, so stick around. Right now, we're kicking it off with a match that's got a lot of bad blood going behind it. Terry Funk, you see him right here. Middle-aged and crazy is what he likes to refer to himself as. He and another legend have really not seen eye to eye in a number of weeks now.
Well, Superstar Billy Graham, since returning here to WCW, has really, for one reason or another, had his eyes set on Terry Funk. Feels that there's some unfinished business between the two of them, and tonight they're going to have to get that all out because they've set up what is referred to as a dumpster match.
Oh, indeed, that's what they think of each other, and Superstar Billy Graham essentially said, Terry Funk, you're nothing more than trash, and what you do with trash is you take it out. So tonight there'll be a dumpster at ringside, and this match will only end when one of these men put their opponent inside the dumpster.
More than just a win, it is in a manner of humiliation. And I think Superstar Billy Graham, that is exactly what he wants.
The heat here in South Florida, it is real. But here in the stadium, it is just as real. As we take a look at Superstar Billy Graham addressing this crowd, and he seems to be the fan favorite right now.
That hasn't always been the case.
No, it definitely has not. As a matter of fact, I dare say the majority of his career, he's been on the other side of the fence when it comes to the fans. Take a look at this.
There are no pinfalls, submissions, disqualifications, or countouts. The first superstar to force their opponent inside of a dumpster and close the lid shut will be declared the winner. Now, let the match begin.
Well, we hear the announcer saying, let the match begin. It's not really a match. It's going to be a brawl. It's going to be all out chaos. There are no disqualifications. There are no rules in this one as they tie up in the middle of the ring to start this one off. And Terry Funk going right after the knee of superstar Billy Graham.
Well, Billy Graham has for a long time been dealing with knee issues as well as hip issues, and Terry Funk is not exactly a spring chicken himself, so both of these guys have got plenty of targets.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Terry Funk also having a couple of bad wheels to deal with. These two men have been through many wars throughout their years. They are what you'd call grizzled veterans. Superstar Billy Graham now, big elbow right into the chest of Terry Funk. And the superstar dropping the elbow.
Well, Terry Funk right now is receiving the majority of the punishment, and he's going to have to come up with something here pretty quickly. You don't want to let the superstar get a big lead. Now, superstar went outside the ring there for a moment, but then didn't do anything about it. I'm not sure what he was thinking.
Well, if I know superstar Billy Graham, I would suggest he was probably getting ready to pull something out from under the ring, but appears to have had second thoughts.
Well, he's having second thoughts again, and now choking out Terry Funk.
Once again, in this match, fans, that is completely legal. There are no disqualifications.
That's going to be a theme throughout the night. Of course, our main event is the War Games match, and if you want to talk about no disqualifications,
it is going to be an absolute pandemonium later on tonight for the War Games. The Four Horsemen, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and the World Champion Sting going up against the Road Warriors. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And now, wait a minute. He's trying to close the lid to the dumpster.
it's almost there, and now superstar Billy Graham manages to fight his way out.
Oh, that was a close call right there. Grab the first one to head into the dumpster tonight. Trash can, a steel lid to the head, and Terry Funk is down.
As we stated at the beginning of the match, there are no disqualifications in this one.
Graham has him down on top of that lid.
The momentum in this crowd is building by the moment with each successive move. And the superstar Billy Graham is delivering right now on his promise of humiliating Terry Funk.
And now has him up with that body vice. The superstar backbreaker. It won't matter even if Terry Funk submits. That will not get you the win in this one.
Well, Terry Funk finally managing to escape the hold. Then there's a reversal. Funk is now inside the dumpster.
Will this be all she wrote for Terry Funk as the two-man battling over that lid?
Funk fights his way out of it. Superstar Billy Graham caught the edge of that lid. Oh, my goodness.
Billy Graham getting his money's worth out of that trash can lid. And this time we're talking about the steel one. Big clothesline, and Terry Funk takes him down, drives the knee.
Well, now Terry Funk seems to be woken.
Oh, and he busted him open. Billy Graham is a bloody mess, and now the trash can lid being used by Terry Funk.
Graham now a bloody superstar Billy Graham with the bear hug cinched in deep on Terry Funk. But again, a submission will do you no good in this match.
Not the first time that superstar Billy Graham has had the sight of his own blood in a wrestling match for sure. He's got Terry Funk up and drives him down into the dumpster. And again, Terry Funk able to fight him off.
Well, that is what awaits one of these two men, and not exactly something I would want to be part of.
And not for anything, we don't know what's in those bags. I mean, you've probably got food waste. God knows what other kind of stuff could be in there. Could be broken bottles for all we know. Very dangerous matchup.
Well, both of these men knew what they were getting into when they signed the dotted line.
That blood really hemorrhaging from the head of superstar Billy Graham. As our long-time colleague Gordon Soley would say, his face quickly becoming a crimson mask. All to the top rope with a moonsault, and Billy Graham brings up the knees.
He was ready for that one, but now he might not be ready for this one.
Terry Funk has got it. There's a submission, but it will not matter.
We talked about the bad knees of superstar Billy Graham, and Terry Funk just took advantage of it, and now can he put him away? Superstar Billy Graham is fighting it off, but it's too little too late. Terry Funk got the job done, and he will be victorious. What a battle, though, these two men just went through.
You call it a battle, I'm going to call it a war. They really let it all hang out this one. These are two guys that had no love for one another. Knowing this was going to be their last dance, they put it all on the line in this dumpster match.
Here is your winner,
Well, Terry Funk, in my opinion, look at the battle scars on him from this one.
He had to come from behind to pull it off. We'll be back. Plenty more action still to come.
Welcome to the Nation Network, your home for all things pro wrestling. From classic video games to the latest releases, we dive deep into wrestling past and present. Step into the ring with Legends Mania, where dream matches come alive as legends clash with today's top stars. Join the conversation on Wrestle Chat, our podcast breaking down the biggest stories and hottest events in wrestling today.
Leave an island unto my own.
And don't miss the voice of Ultra Pro Wrestling, Vince McShane, right here on the Nation Network. This is the place where wrestling lives, breathes, and never sleeps. Hit subscribe and let's run wild together.
is scheduled for one fall and is for the National Wrestling Alliance Television Championship.
All right, fans, our first championship title match coming up. Making his debut here in the WCW. Flying Ryan Pillman going up against the reigning television champion. Will he have what it takes to get the job done?
Well, we have seen this young man a couple of times in the past, and coming from the Cincinnati Bengals, you don't make it to the NFL unless you are a top-tier athlete for sure.
Well, talking about top-tier athlete, we've got a bunch of them heading out this way right now. There's your television champion, Mike Rotunda, accompanied by the remaining members of the varsity club.
Well, of course, Kevin Sullivan is in control. He is the coach, if you will. Dr. Det Steve Williams, Rick Steiner rounding out the pack.
Rotunda, of course, an All-American out of Syracuse University. And he is the reigning television champion. He would love nothing more than to walk out of here tonight still holding that title. Later on tonight, the tag team titles are going to be on the line. Tables, ladders, and chairs in a triple threat match.
We've also got that big Texas Tornado tag team matchup between the Midnight Express and Southern Reckoning to look forward to.
Introducing the challenger from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 226 pounds, Flyboy Brian.
Flying Brian.
And his opponent from Washington, weighing in at 248 pounds, the National Wrestling Alliance Television Champion,
Mike Rotunda, the reigning television champion. He has been a fighting champion. We'll give credit where credit is due. Now, some of these matches, he's maintained that title, whether it be the TV time limit of 10 minutes, or whether it be some outside interference. And then, yes, sometimes he actually just shows that he can do it on his own, but there have been a few blemishes along the way as far as most people are concerned.
Well, anytime you got Kevin Sullivan in your corner, you got to figure something's up. And look at this. Rotunda wasted no time at all. Going for the cover, and there's a count of one, there's a count of two, and he almost put him away.
That would have been record-setting indeed, and now the TV time limit is in effect as Rotunda comes up with a roundhouse, and Pillman's shoulders are on the mat again, and early on the young man having a whole lot of trouble with the seasoned veteran that is Mike Rotunda.
Rotunda's been a success everywhere he has gone, and look at him using a headbutt. That is not something we normally expect to see from Mike Rotunda.
Well, you've got the title on the line. It's the last night for the company.
And there's a nice reversal right there by Pillman, dropping Rotunda on the back of his head. And to your point, this is going to be the last night. Everyone wants to go out with a bang. They all want to go up with out with their hands raised up high in victory, and especially someone like Brian Pillman, who really didn't get a chance to shine here. To walk out of here victorious over the Varsity Club with a championship title overhead, that would be an amazing event for him. One I'm sure he'll look back on for the rest of his career. There's a nice neck breaker, rolls him up, hooks the leg, Rotunda shoulders are down. He got him. Pillman gets the win.
I can't believe it.
In record-setting time, I might add. What just happened?
I still don't know. Look at that neck breaker, and oh, that one, he really wrecked him with that one. The back of the head of Mike Rotunda getting caught between the shoulder of Pillman and the mat. He got rattled.
History is made at the Great American Bash, fans. Unbelievable. We'll be back with more.
This is what the world has been waiting for. This is your big chance. From the Volunteer State of Tennessee, weighing in at 432 pounds, Sam the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky Morton rocks the charge with his new hit single, Boogie Woogie Dancel.
Stand up to the rock and roll street. Got a rock and roll band, got the boogie woogie beat. At the boogie woogie dance hall.
And Robert and Ricky have been rocking the wrestling world. Now you can join their official fan club. As a member, you'll get a life-size poster of Ricky and Robert, 4 newsletters during the year, your official membership card, and you'll get a copy of Ricky Morton's new hit single. Send 1995 to Rock and Roll Express Fan Club, P.O. Box 11390, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28220. Certified checks and money orders accepted only. Remember, Ricky Morton's new hit single is available only to fan club members. It's not available in stores.
All right, fans, we are back and ready. James E. Cornette, this one has been brewing for months now here as he leads the Midnight Express, and joining them is security, Big Bubba Rogers.
And at a combined weight of 457 pounds, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, the Midnight Express.
Well, when it talks about personal, this one is as personal as that gets. We saw Jim Cornette put on the shelf for almost 6 weeks. By Southern reckoning, we didn't know who they were at the time. We didn't know who the perpetrators were for several weeks. And ever since then, they have been in an absolute heated battle. With the Midnight Express, will that change here tonight?
Well, it'll come to a conclusion here tonight, I can tell you that much right now. And here they come. Wait, who's that? Are you kidding me?
Well, they said they had a mystery.
Steve Kern, Randy Rose, and Paulie dangerously.
Well, you know what? They knew they were going to have to deal with Cornette in the corner. They needed something to offset that, but I don't see them offsetting Big Bubba Rogers.
All right, fans, we are ready for action. Extreme Rules, that means anything goes. Randy Rose going right after Sweet Stan Lane, and Bobby Eaton in the meantime going up against Steve Kern. I think a lot of people want to see Steve Kern and Stan Lane lock up, former members of the Fabulous Ones.
There's a lot of bad blood in this one. Stan Lane apparently abandoned Steve Kern in the state of Florida, and Kern came here looking for revenge on that. Randy Rose felt that Dennis Condrey abandoned him from Minnesota, where they were wrestling as a tag team, and he came here and removed Dennis Condrey from professional wrestling.
It has been the most intertwined scenario between teams that I've ever seen in the history of professional wrestling. And now look at this from the top rope, and it looked like Cornette maybe want to get a word with Stan Lane. I'm not entirely sure what the plan was there. Lane off the top rope, missile drop kick, connecting on his former tag team partner as he goes for the cover, gets a count of one.
Well, that's the matchup everyone wanted to see. Stan Lane, Steve Kern, and now Stan Lane has busted Steve Kern open.
Kern is a busted open mess right now, and he caught Stan Lane off the ropes, and there's the slam. The bump that you're looking at a couple of guys that were one of the most dominant tag teams anywhere up and down the East Coast. Flying body press perfectly executed there. Bobby Eaton comes in to make the save.
Well, we're going to try and call the action the best we can because there's a lot going on here. Steve Kern momentarily walking around there by Randy Rhodes, I beg your pardon, walking around there by Paul E. Dangerously. You see him shouting instructions into the ring. I'm not even sure his men can hear him over this incredible crowd.
Action inside the ring, action outside the ring as well as he just ran him into the steel steps. Steve Kern, Stan Lane, it is absolutely personal between those two men right now.
Well, in the meantime, Randy Rhodes doing a heck of a job as well. And now Bobby Eaton's been busted open.
We knew it was a blood feud coming in, and it's living up to it right now. Paulie dangerously awfully close to the action. Watch out as Eaton went to the Alabama Jam, and nobody was home.
Randy Rhodes thought he was going to take advantage of Stanley. Oh, wait a minute. Big Bubba Rogers now getting involved.
Exposing the turnbuckle. And in this match, it is completely legal. Bobby Eaton hammered away on the head of Steve Kern. And now there's Randy Rhodes from behind. Has him up in the air. Couldn't hold him. And from behind, Eaton with a chop block.
This is everything I expected it to be. Randy Rhodes almost eliminating Bobby Eaton with that one right there. Now, here comes a cover. Paulie dangerously trying to get Randy Rhodes aware that Steve Kern may be in some trouble in the ring.
Stan Lane and Steve Kern continuing the battle, watching from the ringside area. Jim Cornette, Big Bubba Rogers. They have really not gotten involved too much other than the removal of the turnbuckle pad. Kern is in trouble right now. There's a snap of the neck. From behind, steel chair.
It is chaotic here tonight in Miami, Florida, ladies and gentlemen. Referee trying to maintain some level of order, even though there's really not much to be had. He goes for the cover to Stan Lane, and Randy Rhodes manages to get the shoulder up. Meantime, here's another attempt at a pinfall by Bobby Eaton, and he cannot keep Steve Kern down.
Eaton going up to that top rope one more time. Big elbow, nobody home.
Well, if there are any rules in this match, it is that the pinfall or the submission must take place inside a squared circle so they can do whatever they want outside the ring. There won't be a count out, there won't be a disqualification, but there also won't be a winner.
Kern was looking under the ring for something he couldn't find. I can only imagine what he was looking for.
Yeah, there's not much you can't find under a ring nowadays, and Eaton just got driven into those steel ring steps, and now here comes Stan Lane to the aid of his tag team partner.
Off the ropes he goes. Oh, and he drove him on top of the steel chair with a flapjack. Randy Rhodes has to make the save. What a move.
Tremendous move right there by Bobby Eaton, using the steel chair in an innovative manner that time.
We've got bodies crashing everywhere. Good Lord, ladies and gentlemen, later on we've got a bunkhouse stampede match, and I'm not sure it's going to measure up to this.
Yeah, we might be getting an early start on the Bunkhouse Stampede match right here tonight.
A bloody Bob Eaton with an elbow drop that connects. There's a count of one, count of two, and a save was made. Oh, he caught him. Kern drove him on top of the steel chair.
Well, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. Now there's a cover. There's a pin attempt. And they got the win.
Unbelievable victory, ladies and gentlemen. Southern Reckoning for the victory here at the Bash.
What an unbelievable match. We saw. Look at him right there.
Southern Justice on the steel chair. It was a war. And finally comes to an end. There are your winners, Southern Reckoning.
Well, Bubba Rogers doesn't look too happy from ringside. Fans, we'll be back with more. Stay with us.
If I have to fold one more box, I'm gonna snap.
Did you say snap? Snap it to a Slim Jim! Need a little excitement? Snap it to a Slim Jim!
All right, fans, it is time for the Bunkhouse Stampede Championship.
The following contest is an elimination match. Making his way to the ring from Chattanooga, Tennessee, weighing in at 300 pounds, Terry Gordy.
Bam Bam Terry Gordy, the first man into the ring. When all 8 men are in the ring, this match is officially underway. It is elimination until one man remains. Anything goes.
And one of the other keys to remember is all 8 of these men have already won a Bunkhouse Stampede Battle Royal. That's what got them here.
Indeed, this is to crown the champion here tonight. Still to come, a 3-way triple threat match, 3-way dance for the tag team titles. The Russians have been absolutely unbeatable. Will they remain that way tonight? We're going to find out very shortly. And of course, the big one, the War Games. Here comes Wahoo McDaniel.
Wahoo, indeed, another tough individual. Not a surprise that he is here in the finals.
Weighing in at 265 pounds, Wahoo McDaniel.
Chief Wahoo McDaniel played for the New York Jets at one point in his career before transitioning to the world of professional wrestling, and clearly he's had no problem making the adjustment.
Well, the Chief is one of the tough guys in this business, no doubt about it. He's legitimate.
From Montreal, Quebec, Canada, weighing in at 242 pounds, Ron Gavin.
The hands of stone, Ronnie Garvin. Former world heavyweight champion at one point in time, and he is ready for action here tonight.
Well, one thing about Ronnie Garvin, he is always ready for action. And he is another one of the tough guys. Now, he's not the biggest man in the battle, that's for sure. And if it were a traditional battle royal, I wouldn't like his odds, but it's not. It's an elimination battle royal by any means necessary, and over-the-top rules do not apply.
You know, one thing we know about Ronnie Garvin, he's one of those guys that has no problem at all getting down and dirty, and he'll have to do just that.
From Sweetwater, Texas, weighing in at 275 pounds,
Barry Windham making his way down the aisle. And something else to think about. Normally, you would have somebody like Barry Windham and perhaps Ronnie Garvin working together as a team, but you have no friends in this match. Everyone wants the same thing. $50,000 on the line and the title.
Well, that Bunkhouse Stampede Championship means a lot to these people, and so does $50,000, I don't dare say.
Well, Windham is ready. Here comes our next entrant, the one-man gang.
150 pounds. One-man
No false advertising here. The one-man gang indeed is a one-man gang. He can get it done on his own, and this is the kind of match that I would say is custom-made for him.
One of the biggest guys here in the Bunkhouse Stampede Championship match. And this is where things that we mentioned earlier on might come into play. You might see a scenario where Barry Windham and, let's say, Ronnie Garvin team up to take him out, and then they can turn their attentions to one another. But the question is, will anyone be able to put those rivalries or partnerships together here tonight? We're going to find out.
Well, for my money, I've got to tell you, if I'm putting money on this matchup, Stan Hansen is probably the guy that I'd be betting on.
Well, it's as good a bet as any in this one because all these guys are big. They're all tough. But indeed, Stan Hansen is built for matches like this. Personally, I'd love to see a point in time where Stan Hansen and the one-man gang lock up. That'd be a real good one-on-one.
I'm not sure that Miami is big enough for the two of them.
Next man making his way down. A recent addition. Courtesy of Ivan and Nikita Koloff, who'll be defending their World Tag Team titles later on tonight.
And from Russia, weighing in at 285 pounds, the Assassin Bad Leader.
Vladimir Petrov, Nikita Koloff's cousin from the Soviet Union, was brought in by Ivan Koloff as an insurance policy.
Not a bad insurance policy. He is a monster of a man.
You look at that stone cold look on the face of Petrov, and this is a man who is here for business. Not here to make allies, not here to make friends.
And a member of the Varsity Club. We saw him earlier tonight.
From Tulsa, Oklahoma, weighing in at 270 pounds, Dr. Steve Williams.
Indeed, Dr. Death Steve Williams, and you have to wonder what's going on in his mind right now. The last time he was ringside watching a member of his team get defeated.
Well, anytime you're involved with a team and you end up with a defeat, it can definitely rattle your psyche a little bit, even though Doc had no part to play in it.
This will not be a single elimination. 7 of these men will be eliminated. And the question is, as Garvin's shoulders are down, and he almost got eliminated instantly. Referee got caught up in the fray. Oh, what a move. One-man gang taking down Bam Bam Terry Gordy.
Try and call the action if you can.
Petrov has got the one-man gang and a Russian bear hug. Barry Windham's shoulders are down, and he's eliminated.
Wow, Barry Windham, first man eliminated from the big battle royal, and I've got to tell you, I'm amazed.
Well, the bunkhouse stampede, ladies and gentlemen. There's the right hand by Garvin. One-man gang is out.
One of the favorites, no doubt about it. Stan Hansen is on the apron.
Running power slam now by Bam Bam Terry Gordy as he chokes out Ronnie Garvin. Meantime, Petrov going for the cover on Wahoo. Got a 2 count. Look at all this action, ladies and gentlemen. Already 2 eliminated from the bunkhouse Stampede Battle Royal. $50,000 is on the line. The action now spilling out to the floor as well.
Stan Hansen has been spending a lot of time out on the floor, which is not the worst idea. Garvin with a steel chair, and he is going after Stan the Lariat Hansen.
Shoulders down, and now there's a count of 1. Vladimir able to kick out, and now from behind, Wahoo's got him up. What is he going to do with Terry Gordy? Drops him across the top rope.
Tremendous action, ladies and gentlemen, as we knew it would be.
And now Wahoo with a submission, the bow and arrow. Going for the cover on Ronnie Garvin. As we said earlier, there are no friends. And Garvin's been eliminated.
Well, now you've got an odd number. You've got 5 men remaining. That means there's always going to be a loose cannon floating around somewhere.
Move to the midsection now as 2 of the big guys locking up here. Wahoo McDaniels, Bam Bam Terry Gordy. We've got tables outside the ring. And now, Wahoo in the ring by himself. At least he was momentarily.
Just trying to take all the action in the best we can. Nice move right there by Petrov. Ramming the head of, was that Wahoo McDaniel? No, it was not. That was Stan Hansen.
Look at it. We've got a board in the ring with nails sticking out of it. What is this?
It's all legal. This is the Bunkhouse Stampede Battle Royal, and it is the, oh, no, what is he doing?
Oh, he almost drove him down on that damn board. Are you kidding me? Dr. Steve Williams is fortunate to still be in the match at all.
After that devastating pile driver, no less, and now the Russian bear hug is applied on Bam Bam Terry Gordy.
Gordy has tapped out to the bear hug. Well, it's summertime, but we're looking at the final 4. The lariat, Stan Hansen, your favorite pick here tonight with a sit-out powerbomb as Dr. Death rolls to the floor. Meantime, it is now Wahoo. Oh, there's a lariat. Will that be enough for the count? Indeed it is. And now look out. Hansen's got that board.
Dr. Death Steve Williams looking to put away Petrov, and he does, and now look out.
Oh, he caught him with it.
And Dr. Death Steve Williams right back up.
How in the world did he survive that? Pile driver, and that's it.
It would have been if he'd have gone for the cover, and Dr. Death Steve Williams in trouble.
Lariat Hansen over the top rope. He hangs on. And now Stan Hansen finds himself driven into the apron with a belly-to-back suplex.
I'll tell you, these guys are two of the tough ones, and I am not surprised that they're the last two men standing. I picked Stan Hansen early on, and I'm sticking with that as my choice for who's likely to come out on top here.
Well, I'll say one thing. We mentioned the fact that Dr. Death Steve Williams earlier on tonight was ringside when his team member Mike Rotundo dropped not only the match but the title of television champion, and now uses the steel steps. Oh, good Lord.
These two guys are really uncorking every ounce of violence they've got access to.
We are settling feuds, ladies and gentlemen. We are crowning champions, and we're handing out $50,000 in this matchup. Right there's a lariat. Count of 1, 2. You call it.
Stan Hansen, I said it at the beginning, he was custom made for this matchup, and there he proves it.
Bunkhouse Stampede Battle Royal champion Stan Hansen will be taking the trophy and $50,000 with him.
That buys you a lot in Borger, Texas, I can tell you right now.
What mayhem we saw in this matchup late. Look at that clothesline. That lariat is stiff, and he connected right under the jaw of Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Here is your winner, Stan Hansen.
And again, got the cowbell and the bull rope. There's your winner, the lariat, Stan Hansen.
Every generation has its stars. Major Stars. Order today at collectmajor.com.
The following is a triple threat tag team tables, ladders, and chairs match. And is for the WCW World Tag Team Championship.
All right, fans, time to see if somebody can get the job done or not.
Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 454 pounds, Robert Gibson and Ricky Morgan, the Rockers.
Well, it's the last night, and with that in mind, The top two contenders are going to be involved in this tables, ladders, and chairs match. And the winning team will be the one that is able to get all the way up to the top and bring those belts down.
Here are the reigning World Tag Team Champions. They have been a dominant force here. They have beat every team that has been sent their way, and they are still the World Tag Team Champions here tonight at the Bash.
Well, the odds are against them here tonight, but it's not the first time they've overcome the odds. They have defeated the Midnight Express. They have defeated the Road Warriors.
They have defeated Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA, which was a massive upset in a lot of people's minds. They continue to beat down America and America's teams.
They also ended a pretty impressive win streak for Wyndham and Rotundo, who were the Crockett Cup Tag Team Champions, and a lot of people thought they were going to be the ones.
Well, the WCW's lined them up, and the Russians have knocked them down. Will they continue that here tonight?
The cold stare of the eyes of the Russian Nightmare and the Russian Bear. They are two together as one. We saw Vladimir Petrov earlier on in the Bunkhouse Stampede Battle Royal. He is not here at ringside for this match just as well. We don't need any more.
And now here comes the final team in this three-way dance. Jimmy Jam Garvin and Michael P.S. Hayes. They are the Fabulous Rebirds.
And at a combined weight of 493 pounds, Michael Hayes and his Jam Gavin. The Fabulous
You see the tag team titles hanging up in the background. Some 15 feet high. You're going to have to climb the stairway to hell, in my opinion, to get them.
Well, there's a thing in the corporate world calling the stairway to success, and it's a little bit different here.
That's what these three teams are battling for. Once that bell rings, it is Katie bar the door.
Well, the bell rang, and here we go. No disqualifications, no countouts, no pinfalls or submissions. Get a ladder by any means necessary. Set it up in the middle of the ring and then climb up there and pull the tag team titles down. Ricky Morton going after the ladder right now.
Ivan Koloff went right out there to stop him before he even got started. And now look at this, Michael Hayes going after Ivan Koloff, breaking the back. Meantime, we've got Robert Gibson with a table, and all of it's legal. Everything you can put your hands on in this match is part of the match, and they all know it. Steel chair or steel ladder rather, right to the head.
Meantime, there is the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff, momentarily by himself in the ring, and already it looks like a hardware store has exploded here at ringside.
Steel chair to the head of Ivan Koloff from the blind side.
You would almost think Michael Hayes was working in conjunction with Robert Gibson, and realistically, that's possible momentarily at least. The Freebirds and the Rock and Roll Express working together. Oh, wait a minute. Garvin was going for Ricky Morton, but Michael Hayes inadvertently got caught with a steel chair. When you've got this much chaos taking place in the ring at one time, things like that are very common.
Ivan Koloff driving that steel chair into the head of Robert Gibson. Now there is a ladder bridge set up from the ringside area, from the apron to the broadcast table. I don't know what these guys plan to do with that. Rake of the eyes by gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. And now the Rock and Roll Express double teaming on Jimmy Jam Garvin. And now the steel chair by Robert Gibson. Oh, right to the head, and Garvin is out.
Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin is in a whole lot of trouble right now. He doesn't know what day of the week it is.
That was a stiff shot with that steel chair. Now off the ropes. Gibson caught with a power slam by the Russian Nightmare. Koloff with that table. Over the top, and on top of that ladder, we see Nikita Koloff strut out.
Gibson right now the only man in the ring, and he is down in the corner. But in the meantime, for a moment anyway, the Rock and Roll Express members and the members of the Freebirds seem to be going up against tag team champions in unison.
And now the steel ring steps have made their way into the ring as well. More danger. And over the top, and again, the Russian Nightmare crashing down on that ladder.
Well, somewhere ringside is Ricky Morton. I don't know where exactly he's at.
There he goes. And to this point in the match, nobody's been able to set that ladder up. Steel chair to the head. And now has him off and drives him into the canvas. Gibson just drove the Russian right down on top of the steel chair.
And Michael P.S. Hayes coming back now with some of his own with that steel chair. Look at this action, ladies and gentlemen. The brawl is real.
And now Garvin laid out across that bridge. Nikita Koloff, oh, he had an idea, but changed his mind, went after Morton, and Morton got out of the way.
Oh, Ricky Morton now is in the ring with not one, but both members. And now, wait a moment, here comes Ivan Koloff. He's going to try to retain the titles.
Koloff changes his mind and it drops the elbow.
And Robert Gibson is in a lot of trouble. He's been busted open.
And in the meantime, Nikita Koloff. Oh, good Lord.
This is a very dangerous match, ladies and gentlemen, precariously hanging off of a ladder. And a ring mat is not exactly a stable surface to begin with, so keeping a balance is going to be a trick no matter what.
Gibson has him and face plants Michael Hayes here ringside. We have seen some unbelievable action in the past, but I don't know that anything matches up to this one. Up in the air. There's a cross knee backbreaker. Nicely done by Ivan Koloff. There's a scoop. There's a slam. Down he goes. And now Koloff. Steel chair right to the back of the head of Ivan Koloff, courtesy of Michael Hayes. Jimmy Garvin sending the Russian Nightmare over the top rope, and now look at that bent chair, courtesy of the head of the Russian Bear. Michael B.S.H. doing a number on everyone. There's that DDT on Ricky Morton. In the meantime, the battle rages on. Koloff has got a ladder set up, and he's going to try and climb it. Michael Hayes right there, and now we've got two men climbing. It's Robert Gibson, and he's going for the belts. Gibson from the Rock and Roll Express. Oh!
Very close indeed to becoming the new tag team champions.
And now, look out off the top rope. Oh my goodness, through the ladder. Jimmy Jam Garvin is out.
In the meantime, Ricky Morton slowly scaling that ladder. Can he make it all the way up there? He's got his fingertips up there, and here comes Ivan Koloff. Ricky Morton has got the titles in hand. Is he going to unhook them? Indeed!
Ladies and gentlemen, history made here at the Great American Bash. We've got new World Tag Team Champions.
It was a battle, it was a brawl, it was everything we expected it to be.
When you talk about a free-for-all, this was it. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson do what nobody's been able to do for nearly a year. They defeat the Russians. What an impressive victory for the Rock and Roll Express, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready to go to war?
The following contest is the men's War Games match. The rules of the match are as follows. Two teams will be contained in separate cages, with one member of each team starting the match. At regular intervals, alternating members from each team will be released to enter the match. The team with the advantage will be the first to have a member released into the match. Once all competitors have entered, War Games officially begins. The match can be won by pinfall or submission. Exiting the cage will result in a forfeit. And now, let the war...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the War Games. And look who's drawn the lead position for the Horsemen.
The four horsemen from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing in at 243 pounds. The National Wrestling Alliance United States Champions,
The Nature Boy Ric Flair, the NWA United States Champion. That title may not be on the line tonight, but the pride that goes with it as he hands it off to the official before entering this demonic steel structure.
And fans still to come later tonight. We're going to hear from the man himself, Vince McSham. The bad blood between the 8 men in this one, it runs deep. I don't mind telling you. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. The Road Warrior Animal to kick things off here. The American Dream Dusty Rhodes has put together a very formidable foursome here. The Total Package, Lex Luger, former member of the Horsemen and the Road Warriors, along with the American Dream Dusty Rhodes.
Ric Flair standing securely in the second ring. Probably a very smart idea.
And it is official. It is underway. The battle begins. Flair straight into the steel.
And now the Road Warrior with the power advantage, and he drives the Nature Boy Ric Flair up and down with that military-style press.
As we heard at the beginning of the match, this one cannot end with a pinfall or a submission until all 8 members are in the match, and that's when the War Games truly begins.
It has been called the War Games, it has been called the Match Beyond, but at the end of the day, all 8 men in, and then it is the first pinfall or submission that takes place, and a lot of damage will be taking place between now and then.
No doubt in my mind whatsoever as we see the Nature Boy Ric Flair following him into the corner. Flying shoulder tackle, nicely done right there by the Road Warrior. Flair off the ropes, got caught, spine buster.
Smart move right there by the Road Warrior, and here comes the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes straight into the ring. And he's got to make a beeline for his old nemesis, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Flair caught him.
Perfectly timed neckbreaker by the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Now in the meantime, he's got the Road Warrior down across the top rope.
Flair targeting the leg of the Road Warrior. Smart move, and Dusty Rhodes picking his moment. There it is. He's got Flair. Oh, he drove over the top rope, landing on that steel plate between the 2 rings. And there's the elbow.
And now the Nature Boy Ric Flair is going to have to fight off the 2-on-1 disadvantage here until his teammate, whoever's next in, makes it in.
There's a scoop into a power slam, and nicely done by the Road Warrior. Dusty has Flair up in the air. Power bomb right down on the back of his head.
In 3 seconds, we will see who the next member of the Horsemen will be. Coming to the aid, and it is indeed the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, making his way down. Wait a moment.
Anderson not hurrying to get into this thing. What's he got in mind? He's got a stop sign. What the hell is going on?
Everything legal in this one, and he throws a stop sign in, and he's going back for some more.
In the meantime, the Nature Boy Ric Flair is paying the price with this 2-on-1 disadvantage.
Comes up with a nice shoulder block, does Ric Flair, to get himself a little bit out of trouble anyway. We've got a sledgehammer, we got a kendo stick, and finally Arn Anderson, after a lengthy time, manages to make his way into the battle. And not a moment too soon if your name is Ric Flair.
Anderson now finds Dusty Rhodes in the crowd, and there's a tilt-the-world slam. Flair is up and driven down with a pile driver.
Dusty Rhodes got caught with an atomic knee drop, but right there to bail him out is the Road Warrior. Now it's a 2-on-1 against Arn Anderson right here.
Anderson over that top rope and down across that steel divider. Oh, Flair caught Dusty from behind.
Tremendous clothesline by the Road Warrior has really rattled the enforcer Arn Anderson, who got set in, turns it around.
And now the total package, Lex Luger next in.
Well, we know who the final member is going to be coming out for Dusty Rhodes' team. Of course, that will be Hawk of the Road Warriors. And meantime, Lex Luger gets in there, and he's got a score to settle with the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
We've got bodies everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And Dusty Rhodes flip-flopping, flying down the American Dream, and Luger double-teaming the United States champion. The Nature Boy Ric Flair in trouble.
Meantime, we've got a one-on-one battle in the other ring between the Road Warrior Animal and the enforcer Arn Anderson.
Well, Dusty's team getting that man advantage. And look at the double team on Flair. Oh, a double knee backbreaker.
Flair, of course, has that bad back. The history of his injuries as a result of a plane crash he survived.
Into the turnbuckle he goes, walks right into the elbow, does Dusty Rhodes. Will it be Sting? Will it be Tully Blanchard? We'll find out in 2 seconds. Indeed, Tully Blanchard is the next man in. The world champion Sting will come in final for the Horsemen, and he will be fresh.
Yeah, the numbers advantage right now is in favor of Dusty's team, but the fact that Sting will be the last man entering and he will be fresh, as you mentioned, that maybe gives them the advantage.
Tully Blanchard using that steel sledgehammer on the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Arn Anderson with a DDT, and Dusty goes down. Flair to the eyes of Luger.
Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson with a double team on the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and now there's a big shot to the back of the head of Ric Flair.
The 3-on-2 advantage. Oh, Flair just went downtown, low blow, and the total package is down.
This is the pandemonium that comes with a Great American Bash. This is the battle that occurs inside of the War Games.
Down to 4 seconds. And here comes the Road Warrior. There is Hawk making his way down the aisle.
It is getting down to the nitty-gritty now as Hawk. Dusty Rhodes just tapped out, but it does not count.
No, it does not. Anderson with a DDT on the Road Warrior, busting him open. Hawk now coming up with that Table throws it in. Flair went with that steel stop sign but missed the target. Now the total package. Lex Luger's got the champion up. Meantime, Hawk throwing in a damn garbage can. Are you kidding me? Flair is tapping out, but it does not count.
Not until all 8 members have made it into the ring.
Pile driver off the stop sign, and Ric Flair is out.
Flair may be done.
And now Hawk, what is he doing? You cannot go over the top row or the top of the cage. You'll be disqualified.
And he is aware of that for sure.
And now get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It's the world champion. Sting is here.
Anderson is tapping out as well.
The steel cage is on, and now Sting has got Luger. Drives him down. Action all over the place, and now Dusty Rhodes is outnumbered 2-1. Sting and Dusty Rhodes. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Sting has just turned on Flair.
I don't believe this.
Sting has turned on the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and he's going for the Scorpion.
Going for the Scorpion indeed, and he got him.
They got the win. Dusty Rhodes with some help from an unlikely ally. What in the world just took place?
I've got to tell you what, I don't even know. Sting and Flair looked like they were going to double team the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, but then he turned things around quickly.
Fans, this is broken down.
Here are your winners, Anna Maria, Dusty Rhodes, Lex Luger, and
Take a look at this. Dusty Rhodes and his team victorious. In the meantime, Flair and Sting battling back up here to the ramp. Stinger has got him up in the air. What's he going to do? What? Wait a minute. Oh, my God, off the edge of the stage.
And now Sting with a splash.
I got to get up there. My goodness, Sting, what have you done?
I did exactly what I had to do, but it felt so good. Ric Flair, I always knew one thing. The only way I was gonna ever beat the Horsemen was to infiltrate them and destroy them from inside. And tonight, right here at the Great American Bash, we bid a fond farewell to the Four Horsemen.
I'm going to tell you something right now, fans. We've seen it all, or maybe we haven't, because now we send you back to the ring for a final word from Vince McSham.
Have you not been entertained? For 22 years, you all have been with me on this ride. Whether you've been here from day one or just recently joined us here on the channel, you are the reason why this lasted so long. Tonight, we wrapped up the Legends of 605. As for the future, who knows? You can still hang out with me here for Game On and for Wrestle Chat when we do those. The question I've received since the announcement was made 3 weeks ago is, will I ever come back if a new option is available? All I can say is the oldest saying in wrestling. Never say never. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I'm here to tell you that it took 3,100 of you to make one nation. And I thank you so much for it.